In the ruins of Stalingrad, death did not announce itself with explosions or shouting. It came quietly, a single shot, a brief echo, a body collapsing into dust and rubble. Often, no one even saw where it came from. German soldiers began to whisper about a Soviet sniper who seemed impossible to escape, someone who watched everything, someone who never rushed, someone who killed patiently. His name was Vasily Zaitsev. By the time the Battle of Stalingrad reached its peak in late 1942, the city was no longer recognizable. Entire neighborhoods had been reduced to shattered concrete and twisted metal. Factories burned day and night. The Volga River ran under constant artillery fire. Soldiers fought over stairwells, basements, and piles of rubble where buildings had once stood. There were no clear front lines. Control of the city shifted by the hour, sometimes by the minute. A single room could change hands multiple times in one day. Survival depended not on strength, but on awareness. It was the perfect environment for a sniper. Vasily Zaitsev was born in 1915 in the Ural Mountains, a harsh and isolated region where hunting was part of daily life. From childhood, he learned how to move quietly, observe patiently, and make every shot count. Ammunition was not wasted where he grew up. You fired once, or you went hungry. Those lessons stayed with him. When Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, Zaitsev was serving in the Soviet Navy. Like millions of others, he volunteered for frontline combat. He was transferred to the 62nd Army, tasked with defending Stalingrad at all costs. By September 1942, the situation was desperate. German forces had pushed deep into the city. Soviet casualties were catastrophic. Reinforcements crossed the Volga under constant bombardment, often arriving with little more than a rifle and a handful of ammunition. Orders were simple. There would be no retreat. Zaitsev was issued a standard Mosin Nagant rifle. There was nothing exceptional about it. No advanced optics, no modifications. What mattered was the man behind it. From the beginning, Zaitsev approached sniping differently. He did not chase targets. He studied patterns. He learned where German soldiers moved, where they paused, where they felt safe. He waited for moments when the enemy believed the danger had passed. Then he fired. His kill count rose quickly. German soldiers began to avoid open ground entirely. Officers noticed their men hesitating, slowing advances, refusing to expose themselves. The fear was invisible, but constant. Zaitsev understood that a sniper's greatest weapon was not the rifle. It was pressure. He began training others, teaching them how to blend into rubble, how to hide firing positions using debris and broken masonry, how to relocate without being seen. He emphasized patience above all else. Hours could pass without firing a shot. That was normal. That was discipline. The Germans responded by deploying their own snipers, many of them highly trained. A silent war unfolded within the larger battle, fought across shattered buildings and collapsed factories. Each side hunted the other, scanning windows, watching shadows, searching for movement that did not belong. This was no longer just killing. It was psychological warfare. Zaitsev became increasingly cautious. He knew that as his reputation grew, so did the danger. He avoided predictable behavior. He used decoys, including helmets mounted on sticks, to draw enemy fire and reveal sniper positions. He learned to read the battlefield not as terrain, but as intention. A glint of glass, a disturbed piece of rubble, a shadow that lingered too long. According to Soviet accounts, the German command eventually dispatched a sniper instructor to eliminate him. The man was said to be Major Erwin Koenig, tasked specifically with hunting Zaitsev down. While historians debate the exact identity and rank of this sniper, there is little doubt that Zaitsev faced one of his most dangerous opponents during this period. The duel, whether fully literal or partially symbolic, lasted days. Zaitsev described lying motionless for hours, sometimes entire days, enduring cold, thirst, and exhaustion. He resisted the urge to move, knowing that even the smallest mistake could mean death. The battle became one of endurance rather than marksmanship. In the end, Zaitsev claimed victory, killing the sniper sent to find him. Word spread quickly. Soviet propaganda seized on his story, turning Zaitsev into a national hero. His name appeared in newspapers. His methods were taught across the front. He became proof that individual skill and discipline could overcome German firepower. But Zaitsev himself never saw his role as heroic. To him, it was survival. It was duty. By the end of the Battle of Stalingrad, Zaitsev was credited with 225 confirmed kills, including numerous enemy snipers. More importantly, he had trained dozens of others, multiplying his impact across the battlefield. These men formed the core of what became known as the Soviet sniper movement. Stalingrad ended in early 1943 with the complete destruction of the German Sixth Army. It was a turning point in World War II. The myth of German invincibility was shattered. The strategic initiative shifted permanently toward the Soviet Union. Zaitsev survived the battle, but was later wounded by a mortar blast that damaged his eyesight. He recovered and continued serving until the end of the war. Afterward, he returned to civilian life, working quietly as an engineer. He avoided attention and rarely spoke about his experiences. When he died in 1991, the Soviet Union itself was collapsing around him. Vasily Zaitsev did not win the Battle of Stalingrad alone. No single soldier ever could. But in a fight defined by scale, destruction, and unimaginable loss, his discipline and patience became weapons that slowed an entire army. His feat was not just the number of lives he took, but the fear he imposed, the ground he denied, and the time he stole from an enemy racing against history. In a city reduced to silence and rubble, Vasily Zaitsev proved that sometimes the quietest man on the battlefield can leave the loudest mark on history. If you want to explore more feats of war throughout history, subscribe and join us as we uncover the moments that shaped the world.